Okay. Can you hear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Taka Yamauchi. I want to explain the Japanese latest situation of the Japan smart city situation. Today's agenda is like this, mainly 5 items I want to explain to you and share the information like this. Before start the seminar, I would like to explain my background. I'm a member of the Global Digital Mojo Japanese branch now, acting as an advisor to overseas business support Kansai company and support overseas start company such as Hong Kong or Taiwan enter to Japan like today. So when I worked Omron more than 37 years, in Japan and overseas. When I work at the Hong Kong branch, I participated in the Hong Kong Smart City Consortium like this. Smart City Consortium. I think we are discussing and take action on the Hong Kong Smart City project with them. That is my background. Anyway, today I'd like to explain and share the latest information in Japan Smart Cities. Today, so like this, I want to discuss, but I want to, before explain Smart Cities project, I want to have some quick survey. So today, I heard many companies join today. Just inform me your company situation or what is your company. So your company, if related to directly smart city or Taiwan or Japan, doesn't matter. If related to smart city, you please choose A. If you are not directly smart city company, just today you want to know the latest information about the Japan Smart City, choose B. So I just temporarily stop the screen, share screen. Can you see can you raise the hand, use the Teams functions? Do you understand? So please raise the hand, please. If you are related to some directory smart city company, please raise a hand. Oh, not so many. Oh, yeah. Now I understand. Thank you very much. So maybe not so many company related with Japanese smart city market. Not even though, okay, so I understand. So I want to just share the information for, especially you are joining to the Cave Gap Beach. So that is quite important for Cave Gap Beach. So, understand now. Thank you very much, your cooperation. Just today, go to the agenda now. First one, I want to share you about the current status of Japan Smart City. First, what is a smart city? MLIT is explained like this. They think about smart city is a sustainable city or region which incorporated ICT and other new technology to solve the various challenges it faced and manage itself for its overall optimization. That is, they think about smart city. What is MLIT? MLIT is the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport, and Tourism. That is MLIT is. So later I will explain. MLIT is not is a central ministry, and they are promoted to smart city in Japan. And especially here, addressing mobility or nature or energy, or they are each section, each function, they are think about what is a smart city. That is MLIT or Japan, almost Japanese ministry think about this is a Japan smart city. Next is Japan smart city's latest situation. So as I said, MLIT is not only the ministry for to realize smart city, but almost more than 180 local government, each regional or local government have promoted smart city development for each term. So they realize that is not a good situation. So they are think about their challenge to the switching from individual optimization to overall optimization. They are trying to changing now. They based on society 5.0. That they are doing now. But Japan latest station is not so good because from the Smart City Index 2021, even top city in Japan, Tokyo, Osaka, but the ranking is 84 or 86 ranking. As you understand, like from this chart, this ranking is lower than the other Asian countries such as Singapore or your country, Taiwan, number fourth, and Hong Kong, but totally lower than other Asian countries. But although government just promoting smart initiative Tokyo and Osaka now, but unfortunately even Tokyo, Osaka, both city falling down the ranking now over the past 3 years. So 3 years they are ranking. But government promoting smart city now, so now engine is started now. So Japan smart city just started now. So how big it is Japan smart city market? Domestic Japan market size. They are increasing, steadily increasing, like a left-hand side graph, increasing. In 2024, surpassing 1 trillion yen, about around 8 billion US dollar. More than 1 trillion yen now will be in 2024. Oh my God. And also, but in the global side, global market size predicting to the reach 241 billion US dollar in 2025. So just only 5% or less than 10% is the market size in Japan. But please understand, Asian side. We don't show the graph now, but in the Asian size is growing rapidly, and before 2025, market size is around half of global size. So market size half is Asian market. So quite market in Asia is important. And on the left-hand side, that is the number of city OS implementation area forecast. So they are trying to set up their implementation case is more than 100 cases after 2026 or 7. In 2025, almost 50, achieve 50. After 2025, 115. So more than after 2026 or 7, they will exceed 100 cases. Okay. Next is one of the survey I pick up. So one of the famous consultant company, KPMG, they have own survey. Based on their survey result of positive impact. So what kind of item, what kind of technology will be improve or expect to improve? They will have a ankete survey for big 5 city and local city. Big 5 cities are Tokyo or Osaka, Nagoya, like that. They choose 5 big cities, and local is each local countryside city they choose up. Both of sides they will have a quick survey there. What kind of positive effect will be smart city have on the residents of the city or region? There will be any differences between large city and local city? The results show that many people are expectedly in local city expect benefit in terms of transportation information. So transport information アプリ or user これか。こうか。ここやね。sorry, left これ、this one. Unification of payment system of public transportation. Transportation matters looks like they are expecting improvement. So there is a high possibility that will be introduced not only the large city, but also local city. Looking at the technical and service area, there seems to be a plenty room of startup to enter the market. So I think that will be a good collaboration with large company in Japan, Japanese large company. They have a strong relationship with local company. So key is a local connection have a local company. But unfortunately, Taiwan company or your company, you don't have a global government relationship. So you may contact with Japanese company, and they should have a much relation with local government. That is one of the key factors.
Yamauchi-san, this is David.
Hi.
Sorry. So in your advice, an important connection in Japan is a local company that already is working for city or prefectural government.
Yeah. Some of local local government start to investigate is a smart city, and they try to have a good relation with regional big company in Japan, not the local company.
I think I can give an example. For example, in Osaka recently, NTT West has opened a new innovation office called Queensbridge inside their new campus in Kyobashi in Osaka City. And their goal is to bring small companies and local government into NTT and make network and connection. So I think this is a good idea.
So already even local company also they start have a business with local government. Okay, thank you, Davidson.
Thank you.
Okay, so such a kind of unique survey is there. So one of the key point is not only think about the big city, one of the local city also they are try to realize a smart city in Japan. Next is so anyway, utilize Japan's strength point. What is a strength point? Is a network technology or sensing technology or AI technology. I think these three technology Japan has a good strength point to realize to achieve contribute to the convenience of the people life they are trying to. So three technologies are key point. That is Japanese government to think about like this. Next is Japan government or Japan government agent try to support Japan smart city. So there are many Japan government agent set up a support system. But I don't want to explain today now detail of this support. But anyway, that quite many Japanese government agents try to set up a support system. So maybe I recommend to you we should use some support system like this. Okay, that is a current Japanese roughly situation now. So next is I want to explain a smart city initiative some example. First is I want to share with 4 examples today. Number one is a Toyota one. Toyota is a famous Japanese company, so I want to explain their company. And also Toyota is a mobility company, so I want to explain this one first. So many Japanese major company were working with Realize a Smart City, but the first one is Toyota one. Toyota called Uban City, near Susono City, meaning near Fuji Mountain. Fuji Mountain there, Shizuoka Prefecture. They are developing a smart city. They used to old their Toyota factory. Instead of old Toyota factory, they are building a smart city in Shizuoka Prefecture. And they try to, their purpose is to create a new experimental city based on the technology such as robots, AI, autonomous driving, mass, personal mobility, and smart home. That is their target is there. And the unique point is they said they want to set up 3 roads. So Toyota is a mobility company, so they try to set up 3 roads. One is a high-speed vehicle road. This one is only fully automated driving car. So only fully automated driving car road. Second is a promenade, pedestrian and slow-speed personal mobility vehicle coexist. So mixed up walker, pedestrians, and car is mixed up. A third one is a sidewalk in the park. So 3 type road they will bring up in the smart city. And also not only they try to realize, they are collaborate with ENEOS. ENEOS is a gasoline or petrol company. And also NTT communication company, they are support with Toyota. So that is one of the examples, Toyota Urban City. That's quite a famous smart city project in Japan. Next is a Kashiwanoha Smart City. They create a smart city, Chiba Prefecture, Chiba Kashiwashi City. They call it the Kashiwanoha Smart City. That unique point is one company name is Mitsui Fudosan, began full-scale operation in 2014. And Kashiwanoha City has 3 themes. One is environmental symbiotic city. Second one is new industrial creation city. 3 is a healthy longevity city. So 3 type of cities they are bring up. They on try to realize a smart city. And another unique point is they are collaborators, public and private and academic. So 3 collaboration. Based on 3 collaboration, they want to create a smart city in Japan. That is their unique point. Next, third one is SoftBank. SoftBank is one of the famous telecommunication company, mobile company. In September 2020, SoftBank they moved headquarters to Takeshiba area and started the Smart City Takeshiba project jointly with Tokyo Land Corporation. So Tokyo Land Corporation is land company, office company. They collaborate with them. Their plan to implement various solutions in the office building solution. Deploy them in the Takeshiba area and then aim to collaborate with another city and so expand to all over Japan. That is their target. especially solution for in the office, temperature or people flow, traffic information, etc. They set up a sensor and in the office information, building information, try to get all of the information by sensor and so analyze such information in the building. That is a SoftBank try to challenge to the office smart city project. The final one is K-HANA. So K-HANA is one of the target of the K-gap. So I want to explain and share your information, share our information. Their smart city project. They are trying to demonstrate of the expert system in Kyoto Prefecture. Mainly target is demonstrate last 1 mile property. So Japan, that is Japanese, especially local cities, common issue now. So in Japan, we have much traffic in train or highway, but final last 1 mile is our issue in Japan now. Many elderly person or such a kind of person cannot go to the hospital or cannot go to the shopping. So last 1 mile is quite important, especially in local cities. So they want to try to clear such a Japanese common issues. One of the point is last 1 mobile. Another point is PWA. They said PWA. PWA が Progressive Web Application. So progressive application, they want to set up all over the Ken-Hana area. So they want to try to utilize a demonstration. That is their target. So now I explained that latest their situation now. Next is what is a challenge point? What is a issue point? Japan Smart City challenge point is 4 points. One is a conflict with privacy. Second is a risk of hardware travel and hacking. Hacking is one of the security side, the second one. Third one is a risk of data monopoly or oligopoly. So if someone data has data, so maybe monopoly sharing, that is one of the Japanese issues. Final one is the cost effectiveness issues. So especially number 1 and number 4 is quite important, I think. So number 1, privacy is important. So for the residents, we must clear the issues. So such a case, everyone understand how to use this data for their private data. They don't mind to share that their data. But if they don't have any benefit, they don't want to open their information. So one of the in Japan is important is a privacy issue. So privacy issue, maybe we must challenge to the social or citizens issue. That is one of the challenging point. The number 4 is another important cost. So first, I said in Japan, individual theme or individual optimization they are trying to do now. But if we go to the individual optimization, market is quite small. I said Japan market is not so big, only 5% or 10%, less than 10% of the global. So to clear that issue, we may need think about only individual city, not only local city. We must think about all over Japan. When we think about all over Japan, we may have some scale merit. So cost effective point is maybe better. And also must be think about globally. So already I said Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore is advanced for the smart city side. So maybe when you join some smart city project in Japan, you can think about include Taiwan or Hong Kong. That is another benefit or another challenging point. Right. Next is smart city issues. How do you clear, how do you solve the smart city issues? already I mentioned some of them. So number one is already think about overseas issues, not only think about Japan or local city only. Maybe we must think about all over Japan or maybe include overseas. That is one of the important point. So such a case, we can expand the pie. And そうですね。はい。That is number one. Number two is a regional revitalization. Now Japan said, so this one talk about mainly major cities or mainly regional cities. We may think about now we in local side, especially we have a shortage of workers or difficult to live in local city because of some of mobility side. For some of the mobility problem, we need to improve the convenience of life and needs to solve various problems facing local area, such as labor shortage and also disaster risk. And disaster is number 3 point also I want to explain. And inconvenient transportation, mobility issue. And there are also cases where it is introduced to another region or in even urban area. Maybe if we have some success case, we can change or expand to the urban city also. Number 3 is this disaster prevention. So as you know, Japan has many natural disasters. So Taiwan also have many earthquakes. So in Japan, in order to carry out the reconstruction efficiently and effectively while minimize the damage of the disaster, so minimize the damage of the disaster, we need to create a smart city. And before the disaster, many information, we need to collect many information for the infrastructure, hardware information, infrastructure information, community information, people information, and company information. Something information before disaster, we must select it. We must get the information, and we must use that information for the after disaster to recover the city. So, best way is overcome disaster may occur disaster in the future before the disaster occurred. That is one of the best way. And we need to develop the information system and promote information system. And doesn't matter public or private, overcome of the public or private, we must cooperate with we must cooperate with private or public, or we must avoid a disaster, or we must prevent the disaster. That is one of the point. Local government, they have much budget for that. So that is one of the point. Final one is the human resource. So near number one overseas issues, I think we don't have much good human resource in Japan now. So to clear some issues, we need to we must develop the human resources, especially they can act realizing smartly overseas. Another big issue for Japan is they don't have any good place to play active role in Japan. So we must develop such a human resource. This human resource is not only talk about the Japanese. I think we have human resource include must be overseas human resource also. That is one of the point. Final one is especially I want to deeply explain the K-HANA Smart project. So K-GAP is one of the K-gap is our target is K-gap. So K-gap meaning in K-HANA project, in K-HANA, we start their target is create a smart K-HANA city. So what is a K-HANA city? We must understand that K-HANA project. K-HANA project, their goal of the K-HANA project to realize or ideal smart city in K-HANA. So what is the next generation smart city they think about? They must understand the current status of the smart city, current situation. They will think about, they will set up target, they make sure the gap and try to ideal the smart city in K-HANA. That is their target. Next is their K-HANA. What is their goal or what is their purpose? The purpose is a two purpose. Anyway, they are trying to, one is the issue, the transportation, various transportation secured. And one is the integration definition. So mobility is one of their think about goal. So when they go out shopping or hospital or sightseeing, they try to try to move or try to done together. That is their target in region they are try to, and second one is that they want to try to demonstrate or experiment in the science city, K-HANA science city. They introduce many projects, and that is their point. Anyway, that target is not only K-HANA issues. They think about the Japanese issue, and when they clear that issue in K-HANA, they want to explain to introduce to another region area. That is their target and their goal. And they set up KPI and a goal by themselves. That's such a kind of details information they are set up the goal. And also, not only transportation issues they try to challenge. There are another challenge, elderly person. In Japan, we have many elderly persons there. So that is their target. And another is an environmental side issue, energy or something. They are trying to challenge energy side or environmental side also. So, as I said, they show us introduce technology. What is that introduce their technology? That is such a common technology they show us. As I said, last mile mobility. That is a totally common issue in Japan. They try to clear that issue. So maybe there are many mobility services starting supply. So when we go to the K-HANA, maybe we can realize that they try to challenge the last mile mobility. That is their challenge. Another is one of the points that share cycling or connected car, supply the connected car or life support service by AI or electricity pole hanging open type of delivery box or digital twin or another point is looks common technology they are using now, but that's in Japan, that is Japanese situation, that is the latest Japanese situation, more average situation now. So maybe you have much advanced information, advanced technology in Taiwan. So maybe we want to utilize your technology also. Hi. Next is a K-HANA project. The K-HANA gap. K-HANA gap and K-HANA is almost the same. K-HANA, that is K-HANA Smart City project, but looks like the various players there, many opinion, we want to get the information, and like a K-gap, we must create some network, discussing or connecting some network, connecting technology, and try to make effort and make result. When we get a good result, we want to expand to all over Japan or global explanation. That is their target. But after we have a good result from the globally, we will get a feedback to the network. That is a K-gap process, same as K-gap process. Especially K-gap process like this networking is here. So before we, actually their target is not only after result feedback, maybe at this, include Taiwan or include a global company put into here, connecting network. And then we must collaborate in K-HANA. Then we want to realize a smart city in K-HANA. That is K-gap process or K-HANA smart city process. That is their target. I think that looks like only Japanese, but mainly this one is included overseas global company because K-gap batch 7 now. Batch 7 is 18 company join now, but 14 of 18 is foreign company. So almost the company is not Japanese company. So we need more information, more feedback, more information for network process in foreign country person, include Taiwan. I think that is one of the point. The final is their schedule now. So now is 2022. So almost finish a Smart K-HANA project like this. But K-HANA, unfortunately, maybe schedule is not ongoing there, little behind. So we think we have much chance to discuss with them and introduce your technology in here. That is, we may have still more opportunity to enter their K-HANA project. So implementation of the K-HANA OS will be accelerated development of the Osaka K-HANA, Osaka Kansai Banpaku, Osaka K-HANA Expo in 2025. We have an expo in 2025. So they will accelerate this process before 2025. That is their target. Thank you very much for joining today. Sorry, quite early. One side I explained to you. So maybe you have some question. Maybe we want to discuss with you about the situation. Thank you very much. David-san.
Otis-san, thank you for the presentation. Yes, we have plenty of time for discussion. Yeah. We have the schedule book until 4 p.m. So
sorry.
I would like to begin the discussion, and then the other companies can join in. I know we have a lot of information in the presentation, so let's look at some of the cases in detail.
Yeah.
First of all, talking about government connection. So perhaps could we go back to the slide with the government agencies on it? We had a long list of agencies. We just went past.
No.
There is a slide with many Japanese government agency.
Oh yeah.
Hi. This one. Hi. Now, of course, in Taiwan, there is a similar situation. There are many agencies involved from different parts of the government, each of them with their own goals and their own funding. And our project here is from the Institute of Information Industries, which is part of the Taiwan Ministry of Economics. So particularly the small and medium enterprise part of that, to encourage Taiwanese companies to small companies to grow up and go overseas. It seems to me that for smart city in Japan, perhaps the focus is more on technology rather than industry economics. Is that true, or is there still also some agency more on the economic side? Here I can see, for example, JICA is very focused on technology. Structure.
Technology, yeah. So,
which of these agencies would you propose our companies can learn more about?
Yeah. Now we are very close to the some NADO or JICA, but so that's okay.
For example, myself, I know JICT is focused more on networks and infrastructure. GICA, GICA is more about systems.
Industry のネドはこの辺はインダストリーサイド。
For example, economic. So, for example, here in Taiwan, we are part of Ministry of Economics. So, looking at the growth of business, not the growth of technology only. One area of particular interest, I think, is JCM. And now JCM is looking at sustainable industries, low carbon technology. This is also active area in Taiwan as well. This could be an interesting focus for companies. As far as I know, KGAP Plus has not had this focus so far.
Yeah. Depend on their technology, we must think about which one is better or which ministry agency where we must connect.
Let me share an example from last seminar. One of the companies, I think they may be online now, they were focused on software. So they were developing some employee management software, kind of like an ERP software. For managing employee access to the internet. For this kind of company where it is a SaaS, software as a service, who would they talk to within this network of agencies? More software side.
Yeah.
Perhaps it would be JICT.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I think probably this is the most confusing part about the agencies in Japan, because they overlap. Many of them have similar goals.
Yes. Many like this one. Many overlap is there. Complicated. So in Japan now. So.
From Yamuchi-san's experience at Omron, which agencies does Omron have public relationship with?
Omron side is medical. One is the medical and the infrastructure side and energy side. Something. This one is we are familiar with medical or energy or industry side. That is my experience.
So METI, for example, I know probably METI. METI is the most, I think, obvious partner. Also, we have JETRO, which we have a seminar from JETRO team on Wednesday. But they would be a contact point, but more on the business side, not on the smart city side. Okay, thank you. I want to open to questions from our audience. Do we have any question from the audience? You can chat or you can switch on your microphone and speak up. We have a wonderful speaker here with over 25 years, 30 years of experience. So please take this chance to ask Yamuchi-san questions. Please put up your hand with the team's hand and we can come to you.
Any question?
Oh, we have a question. Thank you very much. Maxwell, please go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question. You just mentioned because we are very focused on the Kansai World Expo 2025, and you just mentioned if we can run the demonstration experience at Kahana City, so now we can have a good connection to move to World Expo 2025. Is that correct? Yeah.
Not related to Kahana directly, but we have some of the connection with the Osaka side, so maybe we can introduce your technologies there. Unfortunately, not Kahana directly to Osaka, but back in 2025.
Yes, I think Max, we being in Kansai, I think I mentioned this in the first seminar. All of the companies in Kansai, all of the government agencies are somehow connected with Expo. What is happening now is that there are some proposals being prepared, which have many partners. So Kahana, Science City, some of the companies who are in the science park are part of those proposals, and they will carry companies that they are supporting. So one of our goals would be is that you have a POC, proof of concept, with a company in Science City who is part of the Banpaku, the Expo proposal. And this is exactly as Yamuchi-san was saying, they will introduce you. Very difficult for you as a small company to, in fact, I can say it's impossible for you to get a proposal accepted into the Expo. You have to be a larger company.
Yes.
So this will be one of the goals, I think, if you join the program, is discuss with your mentors and discuss with the team in KCAP Plus and say you would really like to be involved in the Expo, and they can find the right partner for you. Maybe you can tell Yamuchi-san a little about your company so he can understand.
Okay. Actually, we are the 5G real-time AI translation company. We offer this real-time translation service. Actually, we were working with the Kyoto Smart City Expo this year, 2022. And as they have a seminar, have a speech at the Kyoto Smart City Expo, they were using our real-time speech translation system and the service in the Kyoto Smart City Expo. So that will be a demonstration when the Kyoto Smart City 2022 on-site and online, because everyone can see the real-time translation from Japanese to English in real time. So that's kind of the first demonstration and on-site at the Kyoto Smart City Expo at the Kansai. And actually is located at the Kahana City, right? So that's kind of where our Kansai, our first Kansai real case there. And we also have other real-time translation service, and we can give a demonstration in Japan. We will give the demonstration at like October, November, December in Japan, not only in Kansai. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so such a case, Kyoto Smart City Project members, they understand your technology or your good point. So I think that is a good point. So we must introduce more Osaka side. That is another one point. Even Kyoto, Osaka, Kobe is, they said they want to collaborate more, but they don't have such a good relation with them. So I must explain to Osaka.
I think it's good for us all to understand that Kansai region is quite diverse. it's an economic area, and if it were a country, it is I think a top 10 in the world if it were a country in terms of GDP. But within the economic area, there are some quite different kinds of industrial focus. And from Kyoto, which maybe is focused more on biotechnology and tourism, Osaka more on heavy industry, Kobe also heavy industry and steel, but also tourism and legal services. So one of the goals of the Keihana Science City, as Yamauchi-san explained, is to be in the middle of these three different economic areas. And in fact, the name Keihana means Kyoto, Osaka, Nara. So when you go in, Max, to talk about your company, I think your application is very good for expo, for tourism, for business exchange. And this is an important part, of course, of the Expo Banpaku 2025, to welcome people from all over the world. You will just need to find a good partner. It could be a company that makes software for meetings. It could be a company involved in tourism. It could be a government agency involved in event organization. These are all different ways that you can enter.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you.
Thanks, Max. Thanks. Feel free to ask a question. Thank you. Any other question? We have any hands in the air waving like we just don't care? Okay. Any more questions? We have quite a diverse audience today. I'm happy to see some people returning and also some new members in the audience. It shows we are reaching out to a wider community. Well, while we are thinking of questions, let me follow up again. Yamauchi-san, you made a very good point, I think, about Keihana Science City, to say that it is not only about Kansai region, but Keihana Science City is trying to create solutions for the whole of Japan, or maybe for the whole of the world. For you, from medical product side, from Omron side, are there any smart city projects from Omron that you would like to talk about, which the viewers can understand?
Sorry, I don't have enough presentation sheet, but mainly Omron is try to support more local city. Local city, they cannot solve they cannot challenge the issue by themselves.
Somebody has their microphone on. Can you please check your microphone? Oh, thank you. Sorry, Yamauchi-san, please continue.
Okay, especially support more local government. Especially now, Omron have a money sensor company, and so we try to prevent the disaster. So we must put into sensor many river or many bridges, or try to support them. That is one of our action. We must support more local side, Kyoto or Kansai local city. We must support. That is our action now.
Yes, I think this is a very good trend for small companies, because it's easier for them to support the local project, I think. Maybe on a smaller scale, not so huge, huge projects. One of the interesting things about Keihana, of course, is that it's part of the local community. So when we say smart city, we could even say smart community. Maybe it's a better example.
So only Japanese. Only Japanese, but many more than 640 party. Local agent, local regional government is 187 local agent join this community consortium now. So they are trying. Many region local city join this one and try to support. It's a government ministry side 12 government. I explained to them only 5 now, but not only 5. Many government support or try to realize a smart city.
I think this is a very new trend. In the past, I think the local municipality, city government would wait for the national government, but now it seems the local government wants to do their own innovation. This is very good.
Especially local governments, they have a serious issue, especially last 1 mile. So and they have many elderly person. How do you support the elderly person? That is the current Japan situation. And also, they have much budget. I check their budget. Sorry, Japanese, but many each ministry, each ministry they have much around 1 million or 2 million, 5 million, something like that budget. They have budget 2022 this year.
Very good. And it's exactly this kind of budget which we can link to startup activities, because this is a second trend in local government in Japan is on Friday, Ito-san was talking about this push for startups. So local government is realizing that they should encourage SMEs, to small medium enterprise, to develop new technology and to look for international partner. So I feel that soon overseas company coming to Japan can connect with small company in Japan, and together can make some new offer to local government or to industry.
Yeah, I think so. No, I saw initially I saw the big company, but not only big company, even small company, maybe Taiwan, Hong Kong startup company collaborate and support local government. I think that is a good point.
We have some discussion going on. We have any questions on the panel, on the audience? Let's keep this discussion moving. It's very interesting. Any more questions?
Another one is これかな。Sorry, this one also Japanese だけど。So one of Japanese unique point is Tokyo. Everyone concentrates Tokyo area.
So this.
More than around 30% is concentrated Tokyo. So that meaning Tokyo many people, but another area is we have a shortage of the labor. We have many elderly person. We don't have a new transportation system, something like that. So Tokyo is okay. Tokyo is another issue. But without Tokyo, we have serious issues, the transportation, hospital side, many elderly person like that. That is another point or another issue in Japan.
Yes, I was talking about the differences between Osaka, Kyoto, and Kobe. But in Japan as a whole, of course, there are very large regional differences, and we can see here. Max, are you still there? I wanted to ask you, you mentioned when you were asking the question, you were focused on Kansai area. Why did you choose Kansai area? Was it for this reason that we are discussing?
Yes. You hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
I hear.
Yeah. Why did you choose Kansai? What's your attraction?
Actually, we see the opportunity at Kansai 2025 World Expo. They need they are really have a mention for they want to have the digital Expo 2025, and two of the key points. One is a high-speed internet, and with the real-time translation for every day have a 20K international visitor for Expo 2025. So actually we have 3 different solutions already ready, and we want to push this 3 of the solution for Kansai area. And like you say, because most of them, 3 of them, they are very focused to them, and also for the MICE industry, the meeting incentive to them, and the conference. So this kind of, but as you say, we are a small company. We cannot be connection with them at the beginning. We need really have a traction in Kansai or in Japan, and working with the Japan business partner, and make it's a real demonstration experiment or real business case at the Kansai, however in Kyoto and Kobe. Because right now we already contact with have a relation with Kyoto Smart City and the Kyoto City government and Kehana, and so that's why we can have a real case in Kyoto Smart City 2022. And also we also have study have a connection with the Kobe, because as you say, the Kobe have a very famous hub, it's very focused on the tourism. So should be if possible, one of the solution will work with the Kobe city government very soon for demonstration experience. So we are trying very hard to push our solution into Japan area, especially in Kansai, because we can see the market and the opportunity at the 2025 for our solution. And also we also have some of real case we're landing in Japan, but not in Kansai area. It's in Kyushu area and Tokyo area. Yeah, that's it. And my partner Laura and also show a demonstration video, and it's in Japanese. That would be more easier for everyone can understand what we are doing. So if you can see this video in the chat room, and if you are possible, please help him to connect him for us.
Thank you. Thank you, Max. It's very interesting to get that perspective. I know. Yeah, Yamuchi-san, maybe you can share a little. What is the difference between Kanto region and Kansai region economically? What are the differences the teams?
One of the Kansai, especially Kyoto area, is quite many. We have many unique companies, because the major point is everyone concentrate to Tokyo area. So Tokyo is they create a standard area, but Kyoto they don't have any good land or many people, so they must survive in the unique technology or unique technology, unique product. So now in Japan we have many unique Kyoto company. So that's the point. So major company is located in Tokyo, or they decide to move the headquarters in Tokyo. That's a major area. So Kansai area is a more minor but unique, and some of the market areas quite a big market. They have such a kind of unique companies there. So Nintendo or Omron or Kyocera or quite a unique company. So
I see.
That is the different side. Tokyo is more standardized.
I haven't heard that explanation before, Yamuchi-san. It's very interesting. So you feel that the diversity in Kansai and West Japan means that each company develops in its own way. Maybe has. I know we have many very old company in Kansai also. If we look at, for example, some of the Chinjo sake company in Kyoto, they are 500 or 600 years old or more. So this creates diversity and uniqueness compared to Kanto region. Yeah, that's very interesting. So, very good learning, everybody, from Yamuchi-san. Very good learning. So, for example,
K-Gap is quite good because there are many. They can introduce, they can matching the unique Kyoto company. So, K-Gap is one of the interesting event.
Yes, if we think of the diversity of companies that we have within Startup Terrace and the community, we have software companies, we have IoT. Hardware company, we have service company. So when we introduce Kansai, I think it's important for everybody to look for companies that are new to them, don't just think of the obvious Japanese companies, because there isn't so much advantage to being in Kansai. You can meet those obvious companies in Tokyo, but in Kansai you will meet companies who are not necessarily standard companies, as Yamauchi says, especially in the area of IoT, especially in biomedical, tourism. So it's it takes more time, I think, to learn about the companies. But even if you look at, for example, Keihana Science City, look at the companies that are registered there, and you will find some unusual companies. But also look at Kobe Chamber of Commerce, also Osaka Chamber of Commerce, and Kyoto Chamber of Commerce, the International Economy Center in Kyoto, which just opened 3 years ago. You will find some companies you've never heard of that are doing really interesting work in smart city area. Very good. Any further sharing? Max, you've been great. Thank you so much. Please stay there. We have other sharing coming. Our audience is always very shy on these seminars. They have to be warm up. Any other question? Please raise your hand and we can catch you on Teams.
Oh.
That was me. Sorry. Okay, let's continue the discussion. Yamaguchi-san, could you open your slides again, please?
Yeah.
I would like to look at the different smart city project, especially from Toshiba. Let's have a look. I'm wondering, is Omurani involved in any of these projects?
Sorry, it's difficult for me to introduce our case, so I didn't pick up. Takeshiba?
Is Omurani involved in any of these projects?
Unfortunately, no, so I didn't pick up. But
so it's interesting that the SoftBank project, project 3, sorry, this project 2. This is because SoftBank have moved their headquarters, so it's supporting their headquarter office.
Yeah. So many sensor information, many people flow such information they will share with entity.
Yes. Yes, I'm wondering, for these kinds of projects, how do our companies connect with these kinds of projects? What would be a good way?
Yeah. One of the we must show our technology, our company technology, a unique point. So especially now, Japan is quite slow starting the smart city side now. So we understand Taiwan or Singapore is quite advanced. So what kind of point is advanced? What kind of do you have some issue in Taiwan now? So Taiwan, even Taiwan is go ahead, even though they have an issue now. So we can introduce Japan. In the future, we may have same issue in Japan. So such a kind of predictive information we want to support. We want to introduce Toyota or SoftBank like this.
Yes, I can think, for example, in the COVID period, Taiwan was early to adopt electronic contact analysis and electronic system to report position in shops and public places, which were connected to a online, connected to a database and connected to health records. This was a showcase for Taiwan, and the minister who was leading this, Audrey Tang, has become quite famous in Japan. She's been speaking at some university and economic event in Japan. So this is a good example of learning.
COVID is one of the cases. So Japan is quite slow now, especially IoT side. So Taiwan, we understand, Japanese understand, everyone Taiwan is go ahead. So we want you to introduce us such a anti-COVID protection side.
So this may be a good idea for our companies. Even if your product is not directly related to COVID, you can think how could it be part of an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Whenever we are pitching for investment or for entry into acceleration programs, we always have to think, what is the hot trend? What is in the news? And we need to talk to that in our presentation, because the jury member are, of course, living in the country. They are aware of the news item, the hot item. And if they hear it from your company, this can be a way to be remembered. So, for example, COVID-related, IoT-related, tourism-related. Japan, I know, is warming up for tourists coming back. Hi. So all of these are hot items which your company can talk about. Now, IoT is especially important for smart city.
Yeah.
And Yamaguchi-san, you mentioned that Omron was focusing more on sensors.
Yeah.
What kind of sensors, and where in the smart city ecosystem will they?
One is we have one of the face detection system we have, so we don't need to. We can only show the face. Face detection now is quite popular in Japan or in Taiwan also, but we have some technology of the face detection. And one of the temperature, or not the actual sensor, just only check the temperature or something like that, so we can understand if someone is there or not. Such a kind of sensor we have, so we can use in a toilet or anyway. I want to show the video camera like that. That's the kind of area we can use some sensor.
And these are passive sensor, or do they require battery?
Passive sensor. Passive sensor.
Very interesting. So these can be used in many different applications.
Yeah.
And low cost, I think, as well. We have some companies in our community here which are looking at sensor technology, also software to manage sensors. So more the middle software for managing sensors. So this would be an active area. Let's talk about another area. I'm just saying, in the smart city, what about transportation? So we know in all of these smart city initiatives, Toyota is leading the way.
Yeah.
So what are their plans for mass mobility as a service and other activities?
So, but Toyota's realizes that everyone, young person especially, they will not buy a new car. So they are more seriously think about such as new mobility side. So there is an old Toyota factory area in Shizuoka Prefecture. They are quite big size, 15 times size of the Tokyo Dome. There's 2,000 people already live in that area. So mainly Toyota member live in that area and working together. So such a kind of big area, they are trying to realize a smart city. That is a quite a unique point. And not only they are not only think about high-speed vehicle and full automatic driving car. They were more think about more collaboration with human and car. That is a unique point of the Toyota.
Yes, I can see they are concerned with how the human and car live in the same space. This is a very new idea. Until now, the car has been given the space, but now we try to share the space. It's something I feel that Kehana can do better. Kehana's project so far, we don't see so many mobility or transportation environment projects. Although the buses, we see some new buses recently. Kehana also a large area. if our companies are visiting at Keihanna, they will see the environment is very diverse. We have the industrial area, we have the mountain area, we have urban area. So, yeah, quite a diverse environment.
Yeah. So in Kenya, typical case, so train is like this. Highway, mobile highway is like this, but not connected directly. So it quite another 10 mile or something. No, another 1 mile. We have much difference. So in Japan, we have serious issues. Their local transportation system. So such a case, they try to set up some last mile mobility car service. Every countryside, every local city, they have the same system. So elderly person, they cannot keep a car because too old, maybe more than 75, more than 80, they cannot drive a car anymore. So they recommend to send back a driving license to government. But even we send back to the government, we don't have the transportation system. The local area, we don't have budget so much, so it's difficult to keep a bus system in local countryside. So that is a Japanese issue now.
Yes, it's a very good opportunity, I think, for companies. I know the US has a similar problem for those who do not drive. Very difficult. The last mile trip is very difficult. So again, to our companies, today we are trying to explore opportunities within the smart city area, and I think this last mile mobility is a very important one. And even if your product is not directly related, think how it can support or be a part of an ecosystem to solve this problem. Because if you can solve a problem which everybody knows, you are much more likely to find partners for POC. Much more.
Yeah. In Keihanna, we can try to realize a POC.
I know we had in batch 5 or earlier, we had an American company from New York, from our partner in New York, ERA. This company was providing a kind of scheduling service. It was a mass service for scheduling local transport. And we had another company from Barcelona that was operating an electric bus system similar to the bus we have at Keihanna. You can see the picture there of the small bus. Their system was a drop-off pickup system where community members could book the bus, and it would customize its route to be the optimum route to pick up people. So these kinds of services can solve the problem of local last mile and also the cost of running the service as well.
Why is the automation, automated driving is one of the solution, but not so easy to now realize now. So another is maybe sharing a car.
Yes. Yes, I think the autonomous driving, we don't have any companies in that area currently, but certainly related to image processing. Could be an area for startups to enter this market, and some sensor technology. Yeah, so the Toyota project. The last point that you made, an interesting point about ENEOS, is hydrogen energy, I guess POC with Toshiba. Sustainability, I think, is an important part of smart city.
Yeah. Now it's not so much good at now. So, energy is one of, we don't have any energy in Japan now. So, yeah, one of the solar panel system. We starting the power, wind power system also we started, but it is difficult to get the money from that power energy system. We have much investment, but not so much we have return now. So it is struggling to expand that area, but we need.
Yes, I think I would really encourage our companies to look at energy solutions. Perhaps energy management solutions are more reasonable for small companies because we can build in software. But fitting into the ecosystem of we call it green tech. It's a growing area in Taiwan, and Taiwan is becoming a leader in offshore wind power. There are several offshore wind power sites in planning or built on the west coast of Taiwan. And there's an opportunity soon, I think, for technology transfer, with Japan. And more broadly, I think SDGs. So, and I think all of our companies can pay attention to SDGs. I noticed when I was in Japan, Emuchi-san, these past months, much more public awareness of SDG. It seems to be many larger companies are talking about this now compared to maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that just my image, or is it true?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So even small companies starting, otherwise they cannot survive.
Right. So I think it would be useful for our companies to talk about this, and certainly in the market readiness assessment, we will be looking for some of these aspects. So please, our companies, please pay attention to energy footprint and how you are addressing sustainability goals. Any of the goals is fine. Just make it part of your presentation is very important.
Yeah.
Hi. Any more questions or comments do we have? Or Yamuchi-san, if you'd like to. Yamuchi-san, sorry, I'm sorry. The slide we had of Kehana, I just wanted us to go back. I remember I had a question with the circles, the previous slide.
The circle, correct.
Yeah, this one. Hi. We see here the goal of Kehana, the ideal smart city. Does OMRON have a similar, let's say, strategy like this? What would OMRON be?
Yes. OMRON case are same. We have 2030. We set another 10 years goal. We set up 10 years goal 2030. We discussing. We set up the target of the 10 years later. We understand what is the current situation. We make sure the gap between current and 10 years later. We each division, each department, we decide to how they clear the gap. Something if we are 2030, we set up a goal. Healthcare business, factory automation business, social support business. Each division we set up some goal that we imagine FY 2030.
I've noticed in Japan that 10 years is generally considered a long enough for change. So generally when companies
maybe we have changed, so maybe we divide by 2 and 5 years.
Yes, maybe you need to change faster now. As we are discussing, there was another question I had in my mind about large company like OMRON and NTT Toka supporting innovation. On Friday last week, Ito-san shared his thought about how large company can make acceleration program or innovation program. For you, having worked many years at OMRON and seeing how the company has developed, how do you think Japanese large company can support startup and support innovation. What is the best approach or the best strategy?
I think best approach is we want to invest money to small company to them. We will motivate them and accelerate them and collaborate with them. Because Japanese big company cannot change dramatically. And also Japanese media company, they are not owner company. So they are, anyway, even CFO, CEO, even though they are not owner, they cannot decide big investment. That meaning they cannot change easily. So if big company want to change or change to set up a new direction, I think we need to collaborate a small startup company. I think that is one of the way to survive in Japan and change business to new business, challenge to the new business. So we set up a corporate venture capital company. We leave it to them to decide to invest, collaborate with the startup company. So they can judge until 100,000 or something in Japan. 100 million in Japan. Japanese yen. We saw they can decide to invest money and collaborate small company.
Small company. So in this way, the risk and the we can say power is move outside of the large company, and in this way there can be more, I suppose, innovation and more risk taking. Can some of our companies apply for Omron's program? Is it running now, the investment program?
We have an investment program, so we K-Gap also, I'm interested in K-Gap. If some company is good for Omron, we want to introduce.
Guys, listen to that. That's a very nice path from a K-Gap into a corporate venture fund. So great sharing by Yamuchi-san. And certainly we see other companies. I mentioned NTT opening an innovation center in Osaka. We also see Shimadzu. Is an important medical company in Kyoto. They have had an acceleration program running for a few years now. I was a speaker there.
Quite a unique company. Kyoto has quite a unique company. So we have a much network with Kyoto company. So many Kyoto companies there. So we can introduce. We have a matching system. So we can connect their any small big Japanese big company in Kyoto.
Yes, I would like to see more of this large company or Kansai company making some space for innovation, some financial support, and also a team that can work with acceleration program like K-Gap or other acceleration programs. This is very helpful for international companies which wish to enter Japan. I'm just conscious that time is moving on. I will be handing over to Tom soon to introduce the next step after our seminars, but I still think we have 10 minutes or so remaining for questions. I really would like to hear more from our companies. Not only our dear Max, who's been a great supporter.
Thank you.
Let's see who else we have here. Any questions? Please put your hands up. Your digital hand. What else do we have here? Let's see if we have any old friends here. We have a few old friends in the list. Okay, I think one last question for me, and then we will hand over to Tom for some further explanation. Yamushi-san, we will be busy on the market readiness assessment soon. We'll be looking at companies. In the smart city area, are there any companies that you have seen, maybe smaller companies or new companies, and you think, wow, this is very interesting, a very exciting company? Because I think it's good for our teams to have an idea.
これくんだっけシェアスライドか。Yeah. Mobility is one of the issues. So they try to MAAS, MAAS. They try to share the information on mobile mobility and share the car in the last mile. I don't know exactly, but they are trying to create a network, mobility network, and they connect. If I don't mind to use my car and driving together with elderly person, such a case we can share the car in the local side. Small company or network company created such a network. So just only small software company creates such a network. So that is quite unique, I think.
I like that idea because traditionally the car sharing service such as Lyft, for example, or Uber, originally their audience is very similar, mostly young professional, maybe technology aware. Now, of course, Uber is a wider audience and Lyft is a wider audience, but the system still requires that you have access to mobile phone, that you are familiar with their application, and so on and so on. It doesn't really encourage people who are not so familiar with mobile phone to use the service. So we can say it's not for SDG, it's not inclusive. So it will fail SDG test.
So I don't know how they use, but maybe some of the local government person introduced to the elderly person, because you said they are not familiar with mobile phone, but they are introduced the car for them. That point is quite unique. Not the same as Uber or.
So sometimes I think we can innovate not by technology, but just by the focus, by the end user focus and the service design rather than the technology design. It's more the service design. I remember the Barcelona company that was in KGAP batch 4. They encouraged young people to book the bus for their older relatives. So the young person was kind of acting on behalf of the older member, and the older member would receive a text message. So they didn't have to use the mobile application. They would receive a text message, which they were quite familiar with, and it was convenient for them. So it's interesting. Sometimes with new technology, we have to look back at older technology and have an integration. In our companies, do we have any companies here who are involved in transportation or mobility?
Hello, David.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Who is this?
I think this discussion is very interesting because I have been involved Taiwan MAAS project.
Thank you.
And it takes like because we work with the government, and it takes like 0.1 billion budget for this a year for this project. But in the end, it is failed. It's sad because I recall David's response like it's not about the technology, it's more about the services. So we need to drive by the services and the issues which people they might in their lifestyle. So it's my experience in Taiwan for the MAAS project. So just give you a share.
This is Muriel.
Hi, yes.
Hi, Muriel. Muriel, please turn on your camera. Can we see you? Be nice to see our audience.
I think it's terrible.
Meiguanxi. I'm happy for. Hi. Muriel, hi. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. Hi. Yes, I think Taiwan has been experimenting with many different kinds of mass services, maybe because Taiwan is small and we can test things more easily than in Japan and larger countries. In Japan, of course, we have many opportunities. So I think Yamuchi-san has talked about the elderly or the older user, but also communities in the rural area. They are not necessarily elderly. There is now a trend for younger people to move out into the rural area, to leave the city. So there are some new opportunities there for different kinds of mobility solution. Muriel, tell us more about your company. What is iMarch doing?
Yeah, before I introduce my company, I would like to share one more failed reason. That's Taiwan Mass project. Because another issue I think would be happen in Japan as well, because that's a government project. So normally it's a kind of a closed system. And if you want to work with government or local government, you normally is work through by like some certain agency or some certain people, maybe a company, because you need to have the good background, good reputation, work with government. So that's why they kind of block out for the new innovation startup to join this kind of government project. That's why they cost failed. That's what I see.
So you feel there's not the diversity of different kinds of company.
Yeah, they always work with
same
company, and they always think the same way. That's why it's really hard to innovate in this kind of government project. I am curious about it's that kind of situation is always it's also happened in Japan, and how the Japan government they to manage or how they host this kind of ecosystem to improve and invite the more staff to join. Yeah. Is any mechanism or like a PDAC process or something like that? I'm curious about that.
Yamuchi-san, I think you have a lot of experience of working with government agencies. Maybe Omron is a large company, so maybe support government agency in different projects.
Yeah.
In your mind, how can we help government agency to manage innovation better? I think this is what Muriel is asking, is how can we help the government to manage the smart city innovation, more diversity, different kinds of company? Do you have any reflection or thought?
And probably give us more opportunity to join.
Yes.
And we will build up some like experience or a partnership more with the maybe agency or local government.
So already like Omron, we connected the local government now. So, but we have a sense we can solve something, but we don't have actual technology. Some of actual technology, not so wide range. Maybe some of technology we have, but some of technology we don't have. So maybe we have some weak point. So such a case, we need to create some partnership company and try to promote to the local government. That is Omron or another company, another big company also think about similar things. If you have some unique technology, that is we can introduce to the big Japanese company.
So in this way, Yamuchi-san's idea, Muriel, is instead of going to the government directly in Japan, better to go through the company that's already selected For example,
some of the big company, because they have already they have good relation, and government just doesn't want to try to connect the even Japan small company, maybe big company. So maybe through some of the big company, that is one of the way.
And of course, Muriel, also, we were talking earlier about the large company making innovation platform, making a fund. Government in Japan, from my experience in the past 5 years, is more encouraging startup and acceleration platform. And there are opportunities to enter into government pitching for grant proposal or government project. So, for example, the Expo, the Osaka Expo, this is being used as an opportunity to bring companies from government acceleration programs into some of the larger proposals. And this may be the way that government will change slowly in Japan to be more sensitive to the kinds of companies that are making value in the economy. So smaller companies, rather than just the grant always goes to the big company. So I would recommend if you're able to join in with the program, Muriel, that with your mentor you discuss this. That your particular solution, which maybe you can explain in a moment, is suitable for government. You'd like to get involved in some government bidding. They can help you to meet the right people and be able to propose. And maybe with a partner like Omron or with a partner like NTT or a member of the Keihana Science Park, you can be carried into the bidding.
Even government now, they have a much budget to support to the small company, startup company, and also they have some system of the ecosystem by themselves. They will collaborate with foreigner startup company and Japanese major company. They want to matching system now, so they understand that is important in Japan now.
Muriel, did you hear a Friday seminar? Were you in our Friday seminar last week?
Last week I had a meeting, so I missed.
Oh, don't worry. We will have the seminars online later. I really encourage you to listen to Friday seminar about business model in Japan, because Ito-san, the presenter, was talking about how government and industry are trying to let more companies compete and let more companies get involved. And I think this would be good learning for you.
Okay.
Now, tell us more about your company. What are you doing?
Actually, Iris is providing travel web service, which is similar like AWS, Amazon Web Service, which is you can think about is about the tourism business, and it's a fundamental infrastructure SaaS system. Okay, so it's based on multilingual information with AI inside. So we need a lot of different components or modules, and which owner, maybe like a store owner or SME business, can choose what kind of solution they need, and based on their issues or their problems, to provide a quick and light touch and cheap, especially not cost a lot. It's kind of very easy to get and easy to affordable solution for the SME business. And now we are partnership with NTT Data already.
NTT Data.
Right.
Yeah, so, NTT Data are quite active to support smaller companies. I think in Hong Kong also they're a good partner.
So it's kind of we are working with them, and not only about our services, also work with their tax refund services.
Tax refund.
Yes.
Now, I think, Muriel, this is a very good area to be in right now. When I was back in our office in Osaka, I was talking with a lot of the tourism agencies, both the overseas tourism agency in Japan, who are encouraging Japanese to go to Spain, to UK, and so on, but also the local tourism agency who want Taiwanese, Hong Kongese to come back into Japan. They are all looking at sustainable tourism. So even, of course, they welcome back huge numbers of tourists. They want to do it differently compared to how it was before. And in Kyoto especially, I live in Kyoto when I'm in Japan, there was this terrible, Yamuchi-san, you remember, the over-tourism. We say over-tourism. Hi. So many of the government agencies responsible for tourism will be very attracted by sustainable tourism solutions. So anything which can manage the resources better, which can educate tourists on the right behaviors, the right services. If you use that messaging in your presentation, there's a very good chance you can get an entry into some government projects.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because NTT Data, they kind of give us a good support. And they give us that kind of credit in Japan. So now we are talking and maybe discussing with a lot of DMO in Japan. Yeah, they are looking for some total solution or sustainable solution for the next maybe 5 or 10 years. So which why we have the good steps in Japan and looking for a better develop in Japan as well.
Yes, I think you're in the right area. And Kansai, of course, Kansai region is a very large proportion of revenue from tourism, both domestic and normally international. The general expectation is that towards the end of this year, the tourism numbers will start to increase again. So it's a good timing for you if you can come in and make a POC with some new partners in October, November, December. That would be a very good timing, actually. Very good. Well, I'm just conscious that time is moving on. Thank you very much, Muriel. Please do stay with us. As you all know, Yamuchi-san's seminar is part of a series of 6 business seminars. And you may have noticed, if you've been with us through the 4 seminars, that we are building up a very good theoretical and practical knowledge of business trends in Japan, understanding consumers, understanding business culture. And even today is about smart cities. I think you will agree that we've also learned something about the way that business operates in Japan, the ecosystem, the networks that you need to join. And we've also talked about interesting areas like sustainability, which I think is very important for smart cities, but also in general. Now, Yamuchi-san, I would like to give you a little rest for a moment, and I'll invite Tom to come back and join us. Tom, are you there? See if Tom is with us.
Yeah, yes.
Hey, Tom, welcome back. Thank you so much. Tom is our program manager for the Emerge Japan program, and he's going to share with us a little more on what happens after the seminars.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
I think thank you, David, and thank you, Yamauchi-san. 谢谢各位，其实一直待在这个线上，然后我相信这个讨论非常的热烈。那我其实在开始之前，我先提醒一件事，就是我们这个礼拜5，就是我们表定的这个报名的截止日。我其实非常鼓励，比如说像刚才这个 iMars 的团队，我觉得像还有这个 VM5 的这些团队，赶快就是来报名，掌握时间然后报名。那还有一些我们还没有报名的这些团队，如果你们公司成立满2年，你们有明确的 demo POC 或商用的产品，有明确进入日本市场的计划，或是已经有好的发展伙伴，比如说像刚刚 iMar 提到这个已经跟 NTT Data， 然后像包含这个早一点的时候，这个Max 有提到已经跟那个 Kyoto 跟 Kahana City 这些地方有一些合作，我觉得你们都有非常好的机会，透过这个就是加入这个 KGAP 这 Kahana Global Acceleration Program 叫做 KGAP 的这个计划，进入这个加速器之后，其实可以把几年的这些 progress 都在非常短的时间，都在3个月之内，都能够来实现，就如同刚才 David 所介绍到的， 您在那个地方会有一些这个机会，然后会有机会跟当地的这些伙伴非常密切的这个互动到。那我现在很快的给大家看一下，我现在分享的这个荧幕，我要分享的不是这一张哦，其实也可以从这里开始。这是这个 Kehana City 它的这个 Research Center， 它这边当地的这些时间表，我们可以想象，如果这个过了1-2个月，10月开始之后，您看到您的团队的 schedule， 你们的照片就在这上面，一系列的活动，其实然后这一切的伙伴，你所看到的其实就是大家每一天就是到了那个现场之后，在那里赢得了这个机会之后所取得的这个每天遇到的就是这些人。每天谈的就是这方面的事情。那我鼓励大家现在赶快去做的就是，从官网上面，从这个资策略官网上面有一个 iEvent 的这个连接。刚才在 PPT 的最后，我待会会停留在那一页。在这 iEvent 的链接的话，大家赶快去看一下，我们为什么参加 iEvent， 我们如何的，对不起，我们为什么要参加这个9月23号的这个 Local Pitch 的报名？那我们到最后，我们会在这当中，目标是筛选出6家，我们会针对他们做 market readiness 的 assessment。那到最后会由这个 David 跟 Yamauchi-san， 就最主要的是这个主持的这样子的这个评估的过程。那这方面到最后得到的反馈，对各位团队而言都是会非常非常有价值的。那9月23号到最后，这些入围的团队到最后，他们能够就是有机会在9月23号的时候参加线上商谈会，所以鼓励大家赶快去报名线上商谈会，就是进这个 iEvent， 就在这底下点一下，然后去报名这个线上商谈会。然后那接下来你点了之后呢，报名了之后，一定要确定在这个礼拜6之前赶快点，然后赶快报名。报名之后这边有一个商谈会须知，一定要赶快点进去看，然后把这个档案下载下来。你等一下。我找一下，一定要尽快的去把它点一下，然后我找一下另外一个，点完了之后。
Tom, sorry, we have a question. Max, you have a question? I saw your hand going up.
Yeah, 请。
Yes.
Hey.
Hello. Would you hear me? Yeah.
Hi. 你可以讲国语，没问题。
I can hear you. Yes.
Hi Tom. 其实我们已经报名了，但是你
对，我知道你
没有报名。
对。没有，
只是想确认一下，
确定有收到 BNI，
我还没有收到你们，对，我有收到系统里面你们的报名，不过还没有收到你们的 application， 就是这样，就是提醒一下，就是那个截止期限。对，那我稍微这边再次的说明一下这个 application 它的内容，因为我们收到了你们系统的报名，没有错。那我们收到系统报名之后，就是这个第2步，系统报名完毕了之后呢，然后接下来要回一个邮件，要发一个邮件给我们。那这个邮件里面主要要包含2个或3个东西。那第一个东西的话是一个英文的 PPT， 这个 PPT 的话要谈到贵公司它成立的历史、发展的里程碑，你们产品在 offer 的是什么，你们怎么赚钱，你们 business model 是什么。我们可以回头想上一场这个Ito-san他的这个 business model canvas 啦，这方面的这些素材。然后你们在日本目前的进展是如何？你们有什么样的愿景？有哪一些目前还有未来接下来想要做的事情？那你们之前募资的历程，你们目前这个财务的状况，写一些大概就好，至少让 Yamauchi-san 跟 David 他们到时候在评估的时候，在评选的时候，他们有评选到底有哪6个团队有机会这个就是有机会入围的话，那就可以根据这些来筛选，还有你们的品牌、你们的 branding marketing， 你们大概会怎么做？这是要提供的在这邮件里面的第一份附件。这份附件的话，可以用 PPT 或是把 PPT 转成 PDF， 然后就是把它附在这个邮件。这个邮件是寄给我 tom.lin@globaldigital.com。第2个大家要留意到要提交的事情就是，大家要完成至少5场的交流会的课程。你们只要在 MS 的 Teams 里面截屏，那如果你们有参加，你们忘了截屏，你们就在邮件里面告诉我，那我这边会帮你们找，因为我可以看得到你们如果像那个，比如说 Max， 你很清楚的告诉我们你的身份，我们就可以找出相关的档案，然后我们告诉你我们有这方面的 record。 那你就不用担心。那我们目前其实也有听到有一些团队哦，如果您比如说您是从第3场才开始进来的，那您是第3场才开始进来，你们错过第1场跟第2场的时间，这部分我们目前其实跟其他的协办单位在讨论，那有没有这方面其他的一些计划，然后做这方面的补救。那这方面的话，我们应该预计会在明天后天的时候会有结论，然后可以跟大家公布。但是大家的 deadline 都是差不多的，那都是差不多，就是请大家报名一定要确定在这个礼拜5下午的这个6点之前，一定要在这个 event 这个是我刚刚所说的这个 event， 待会这边我讨论完之后，我会回到它的 QR code 里面，还没有这个 scan 的 QR code 的，确定要 scan 的 QR code。那第二就是当你报名完毕之后，记得就是在你那个报名页里面，我刚才有给大家看的报名页下面有一个要下载的文件，就是我现在展现给大家这个文件，确定你下载这个文件 follow 一下，很快里面所说的东西。我们其实之前我们尽量不要求大家简报的 template， 因为你们就用你们自己的展现你们自己的风格，但是这个内容这是最基本，起码我们要让这个评估的这些裁判他们能够看。那我们会从这个9月2号报名截止之后，我们会从9月5号开始去做相关的评审，然后把名单缩短之后，进入这个 market readiness assessment 的这个过程，选6家对他们其中做 market ready assessment， 然后在这个过程里面，就是从5号然后到16号之间，团队会收到我们这边的信息。因为如果我们很快就觉得这个团队一定要晋级的，我们就会提早告诉你们，你们其实开始要准备这个23号相关的这个需要知道的事情。那你们到时候在23号的 pitch 讲的基本上还是不脱这一份素材的范围，但是你们那个素材你们可以再加一些你们自己其他的这些东西，但每个团队其实只有6分钟而已，所以要留意一下相关的事情。那然后有6分钟的演讲跟4分钟的 Q&A， 那这相关的信息的话都在刚才那个活动的商谈页面上。那这是回答刚刚 Max 的问题，对，我就先跳到这个Max 的这个问题上面。谢谢，这个 Max 的问题问得很重要。那接下来没问题。对，因为我们的确这次我们的确我们很希望让所有的东西都是完全 streamline 的，但是我们在过程中的确是有一些情况让我们就变成这中间流程上有点割裂。那跟各位说声抱歉，我回到
还没有记的原因是还没有集满5张，
没问题，
因为还没开满5张。对，
没问题。其实你们也可以陆续的寄给我，你不用担心，因为我这边收到什么东西我会确认，然后我会开始开一些 folder， 然后把东西往里面放。那基本上是如此。那我们其实这当中有评估过，我们在把这个公告发出去之后，我们其实是有评估一些线上的系统。那我相信在未来的机会，像这次我们要进的是这个 KGAP Plus 的第8轮，那未来有9轮、第10轮的这些未来的机会的时候，希望到时候我们其实已经有线上的系统，让大家就直接可以进去，就直接去填，就完毕，就不会有这个割裂的线上线下的这个过程。好，这边把这一章很快的说完，谢谢 Max。那谢谢 ，You're welcome，You're welcome。那我们这个团队，我们会从这个报名的团队里面，我们会从2号截止之后，然后一直到16号之间，我们会筛选出6家入围的团队。入围的团队他们会在16号之前会收到通知，说你们已经入围了。那入围的团队的话，就有机会进入这个9月23号他的这个线上商谈会，或者叫 local pitch。到时候会有更多的这些国际背景的这个日本的业界专家会在这当中做评审。那每个团队在这个过程里面的话，我们可以看到那天的 round down 的话，我在第1个小时会有跟这个 ATR， 其实就是目前这个 KGAP 的最主要的执行单位，还有亚湾新创园区这边签一个 MOU 的仪式，大家有兴趣也是可以参与的。那接下来从这个4点半开始到2点半到3点半，就是这1个小时里面会有连续每一家用英文简报6分钟，然后到时候有裁判对这个每个团队问问题，然后这些团队提的回答大概有4分钟的时间。那每一家都非常严格的会要求在10分钟之内把这个过程结束，这个为了力求公平，然后最后会有20分钟的评审的时间，很迅速的把最终2个晋级的团队 评选出来，然后后续的话会跟各位分享这个后续接下来要去日本这相关的安排，然后到最后一些 Visa 的这些申请的话，日本的 ATR 方面也会提供一定的协助。那今年的这个第八届就是下一届的这个 KGAP 预计的话是在10月中旬之后就开始了。那这个详细的这些 schedule 的话，这些入围然后接下来晋级的团队会收到一些完整的通知。那最终再提醒一次，如果您成立满2年以上，有可以 POC 可以去 demo 可以去甚至可以已经商用的这些方案，那你们对日本市场有兴趣有 progress 有成绩，你们就会看到其实这次去这个金板奈的这个计划，这个 Kihana 的这个 KGAP 的计划，对各位就会很有价值很有帮助，你们就可以进入这样的团队，就进入这样的生活的方式，然后会得到这个最终晋级的团队，这2家团队他们都会得到这个机票跟当地住宿的补助。那补助的话，到最后的细节的话，会入围的团队会有后续的这个说明。然后接下来进了这个 KGAP 的团队 ，KGAP 的这个加速器之后，会有相当多这个后续的这些计划，就是会使大家把这个在日本要赢得信任，通常要花个几年的这个功夫，缩短到最后就是非常短的时间，就能够实现到。好，那这是我这边的 update，David。那还是要让我继续。
Thanks so much, Tom. That's great, and you can speak much faster than me, which is good. So we finished efficiently, and I'm really happy today. Yamuchi-san, thank you so much for your time today. Now, this is not the last time you will be meeting or in contact with Yamuchi-san, because Yamuchi-san will be staying with us for the market readiness assessment work. So he will be leading that work, and I think today you can understand his deep experience, but also his deep humanity and compassion for small companies. So he will be very interested to see your company, and as Tom said, please provide the key information about your company. Anything more is we are very happy to receive it, but please do provide the basic information of your company so Yamuchi-san and his team can make a good assessment of you for your entry into the local pitching event. Now, I will finish today just by a little introduction to what's coming up on Wednesday. We have our good friends from JETRO, Japan Trade and Investment. We have members from their Osaka office and also Taiwan, Hong Kong office, and they're going to be sharing about government support for your company in Taiwan. So a little bit to Muriel's point, JETRO is the government agency for inbound investment to Japan. And I should say that Global Digital Mojo, our office in Osaka, was supported very well by JETRO when we entered in 2018. So we know them well. They're a very good team, very experienced dealing with the challenges of companies coming into Japan. So please join on Wednesday, ask them as many questions as you can. You have their undivided attention on Thursday's seminar, sorry, on Wednesday's seminar. And then finally on Friday, we have the final seminar of our series. I will be on the stage along with Mr. Law from Katokawa, which is a very important Japanese media and publishing company. And we will be giving a sharing on pitching, so how to give a good pitch. And this is really to get you ready for the local pitching on September 23rd. So please do join in for that session. It will be a more interactive session, less slides and more discussion and fun between myself and Mr. Benji Law. We will be together in the Kadogawa offices in Taipei. Some of that presentation will be in Japanese, in English, in Putonghua. So we have all kinds of communication going on. So I'll leave it there for today. It's been a great session today, and I'd like to thanks again to Yamuchi-san. And please scan this code. This is the next step. This will take you through to the local pitch registration that Tom just introduced. we want to see as many companies as possible coming into the local pitch round so that we can really help you and bring you into the Japan market through the Emerge Japan program. So please do register. We'll be looking at your application carefully, and hopefully we'll see you on September 23rd for the local pitching. And with that, I think I will close today. Thank you so much, Tom, for supporting. Thank you, Yamauchi-san.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
And I'll see you on Wednesday.